Let's go back and see if your wife's eyes are full of blood. Is there a dark black line on the upper eyelid? If there is, she must have been shot in the head. Rumor has it that there have been all kinds of harmful witchcraft in Southeast Asia, the most famous of which is the Thai headshot. And the movie that Xiangju is going to talk about today is really shot by director Chu Li Tao. The story begins in the dark night. A mysterious man sneaks into Zhang Yueming's house quietly, but the strange thing is that he didn't hurt anyone. He just cut off Yueming's child and wife's hair, silently. After 7 days, the mysterious man with a full face of hair was sitting in the living room. He first put a needle in front of his eyes. He kept reciting incantations in his mouth. As the mysterious man put the needle into the straw man tied to his hair, Yueming's wife, Jiabi, felt a sudden headache. At first she thought it was just a common headache. She was going to take some painkillers to cope with it. Who knew that as soon as she put the pill in her mouth, the pain of the stabbing pain began again. At this time, there was a storm outside the house. Even the door of the house was blown open. Jiabi had to endure the pain and get up to close the door. Unexpectedly, a gust of wind blew the door of the house and closed it automatically. The huge impact also shattered a large piece of glass. Jiabi was scared to death on the spot. At this time, the mysterious man continued to cast a spell. Not only did Jiabi's head hurt like it was going to explode, even her child couldn't wake up. When Jiabi heard the cry of the child's heart breaking upstairs, she tried her best to walk to the baby room. It's a pity that when she got there, the child had already lost consciousness and died on the spot. But even so, the mysterious man still had no plan to stop. He only saw him stabbing the straw man again, causing Jiabi to faint with pain. And he didn't know that a family member who had already had an accident was helping out with a strange case. A retired police officer was hanged to death on a tree when he went out. This was the second case of police being killed this month. When the forensic examiner checked the body, he found that the murderer first shot the left foot of the old police officer so that he couldn't continue to escape. Then he used force to beat him to death, causing him to bleed too much to death. Obviously, the murderer was not only cruel, but also extremely hateful of the police. Detective Ah Chen believes that the murderer is very likely to be Kai Chu Yu, so he kept on prosecuting Lin Chao. The reason is that he robbed a bank more than 10 years ago and was arrested. The arrested Yueming was shot in the head with a gun. After that, Lin Chao survived, but he also lost his ability to sense pain, so he is likely to be hateful of the police. Then, when the forensic examiner dissected the body, he accidentally found a live centipede in his internal organs. This reminded Ah Chen of the rumor that Lin Chao would be beheaded, and when he looked at Yueming's child, the body was covered with scars. In his mind, the death of the rich businessman Ma Junsheng more than 10 years ago appeared. As far as he knows, Ma Junsheng is also the same judge. In order to find out whether the two cases are related, Ah Chen specially found Ma Junsheng's ex-wife and learned from her that Ma Junsheng was better than a Nanyang woman. The other party realized that Ma Junsheng was just playing with him, so he cut off Ma Junsheng's hair and then found a master to give him acupuncture. At that time, Ma Junsheng had already found someone who could be beheaded. However, the other party was arrested and imprisoned for robbing a bank. In the end, Ma Junsheng was tortured to death by the acupuncture. After Ah Chen heard this, he still understood that the person who could be beheaded in the woman's mouth was Lin Chao, who was personally arrested by Yueming. At the same time, he also suspected that the murderer who murdered Yueming's wife and children was probably not Lin Chao at all. Because Yueming was probably like Ma Junsheng, he had caused trouble outside. At this time, Yueming, who was staying with him in the hospital, saw his wife Jiabi lying on the bed, so he planned to let her lie flat on the bed and rest. He didn't expect that Jiabi's head just touched the pillow, so he rubbed it and sat up. He kept saying that it was painful. It turned out that Jiabi was also hit by acupuncture. Although he didn't die on the spot like his son, his head often felt the pain in his bones. However, at this time, Yueming still didn't know the true situation of his wife. He thought that Jiabi's pain was all caused by psychological factors. After Yueming returned to the police station, Ah Chen told him all his speculations. At the same time, he also asked Yueming if he had done anything wrong to his wife when he went to Thailand to investigate drug dealers 3 years ago. Yueming didn't answer, he just shook his head. Ah Chen believed that Yueming would not deceive himself, but he couldn't figure it out. If the person who shot the gun was really Lin Chao, why didn't he just shoot Yue Ming? Instead, he wanted to torture Yue Ming's wife and children. Cheng didn't have time to figure out the whole story, so his subordinates came to report that Lin Chao suddenly called Yue Ming. After hearing this, Yue Ming returned to his office. What surprised everyone was that Lin Chao asked Jia Bi about the situation as soon as he opened his mouth. Although this can't prove that he shot the gun, at least it shows that he has something to do with this matter. Then Lin Chao said that he dreamed of the number of the next 6 colors. However, when Yue Ming wrote down the number, he found that the number mentioned by Lin Chao was actually the number of 2 police officers. One of them was the police officer who was killed that night. So after hanging up the phone, Yue Ming and his subordinates immediately went to find the whereabouts of another police officer. But they were still one step late in the end. As soon as they walked to the police officer's house, they saw that the other party fell off the roof and died on the spot. Yue Ming and Chen rushed to the roof in a hurry, but there was no trace of Lin Chao at all. To catch Lin Chao as soon as possible, the police called the informant Fei Hua to the interrogation room the next day. Then they turned on the air conditioner to the maximum and threatened Fei Hua to say where Lin Chao was. It turned out that Fei Hua was not only a police informant, but also a compatriot of Lin Chao. So they have a reason to suspect that Lin Chao may ask Fei Hua for help after he was released. But Fei Hua denied this. Angry, Chen kicked his stool on the spot and did not allow him to stand up. Let him keep a half-squat position and continue to accept interrogation. Seeing that Fei Hua still refused to explain, angry Yue Ming rushed over to press Fei Hua on the ground because he was worried about his wife's safety. He pinched his neck and forced him to leave Lin Chao. Chen, on the other hand, was afraid that he would kill people, so he had to drag Yue Ming out of the interrogation room. Who knew that they got the report again? After learning that there was another murder case on Zedong Street, Yue Ming and his friends rushed to the scene. As a result, they found that it was just a dead cat thrown into the trash can. On the way back to the police station, Chen was still worried that Jia Bi was shot, so he proposed to take Yue Ming to see a master who could solve the shot tomorrow. Although Yue Ming never believed in these ghosts, but in order to make his wife recover as soon as possible, he had to agree. So the next morning the two of them came to the outskirts of the suburb and found the master who claimed to be the master of Qinghai. The master learned that Yue Ming did not believe that there was a shot in the world, and let him go to the hospital to check if his wife's eyes were full of blood and if there was a black straight line on the upper eyelid. If there was, it was a shot. The people who shot the shot were either for money or for love. It's a hell of a lot of money, unless it's for a lot of property. In the eyes of the master, Yue Ming is an ordinary police officer. No one would kill his wife for money, so the other party is most likely for love. After hearing this, Yue Ming did show a little guilty expression, but he still refused to believe that there was a shot in the world. Until he came to the hospital and opened his wife's eyes, he saw not only blood on his eyes, but also a black straight line on the upper eyelid. Finally, he believed that Jia Bi was really shot in the head. He hurriedly found Chen and told him the secret that the mole had been hiding in his heart. It turned out that 3 years ago, when Yue Ming was on a mission in Thailand, he had an affair with a young dancer named Lily. And from the current situation, it is not difficult to guess that Yue Ming finally let that girl down. But now there is no point in pursuing this matter. The top priority is to help Jia Bi get rid of the truth as soon as possible. So the next morning, Yue Ming took Jia Bi to the master's house. The master had already prepared the fa teng. He first tied a piece of red cloth on Jia Bi's head and poured a bowl of clear water on it. Then the master began to recite the curse of the broken down. At the same time, the magic hall where the mysterious man put down his head also trembled. When he realized that someone wanted to break his head, the mysterious man began to fight with the master. But in the end, the master succeeded in making Jia Bi vomit a big mouthful of blood. There were even a few live centipedes in the blood. He asked Yue Ming and Jia Bi to stop looking for help. At the same time, he also reminded Yue Ming that once he was hit by the flying head, he must be careful not to get hurt again. He also asked Yue Ming to stop the descent before the other party died, because once the descendant dies, his descent will be incomplete for the rest of his life. At the same time, after the mysterious man's head flew back to his body, he recovered his neck with gauze and walked to the side of the wall to gently touch the girl's photo on the wall. And that girl was Yue Ming's once ambiguous object, Lily. On the other hand, Yue Ming, who had just returned home, suddenly received a call from Chen after he had settled down his wife. He learned that the kitten he found that night had been sucked dry and died of blood. This reminded the two of them at the same time that the master had said that the flying head was good at sucking blood, so they judged that the mysterious man who gave Yue Ming the descent must be living on Zedong Street, where the kitten was found. Not long after, Yue Ming's men found out from an apartment that a Thai tenant had paid a year's rent, but very few people had seen him leave the house. In addition, when the old man in the front desk described the appearance of the man, he specifically mentioned that he was wearing a few layers of gauze all day on his opponent's neck. These clues made Yue Ming determine that the mysterious tenant was the guy who gave him the descent. In fact, Yue Ming's suspicions were good. It's just that when he rushed into the mysterious man's room with his men, the opponent had long been missing and only left a full wall of amulets. After Yue Ming left, he didn't have time to pack up the amulet and the picture of Lily on the wall. Obviously, this picture was left by the mysterious man on purpose. The purpose was to let Yue Ming see it with his own eyes. Until then, Yue Ming finally accepted the cruel fact that he killed his son. And when he returned home and just got rid of Zhen Jiang's house, he also couldn't accept that his son had passed away. Yue Ming could only comfort Jiabi and then carry her to bed to rest. As soon as Jiabi lay down, she suddenly screamed and sat up. She only saw red in her eyes and a black line in her eye white. This is obviously a symptom of Zhenjiang. Yue Ming had no choice but to send Jiabi to the hospital again and let her continue to sleep on the bed. Looking at his sleeping wife, Yue Ming couldn't help but think about his experience in Thailand 3 years ago. At that time, he was just going to a nightclub. He didn't expect to meet Lily, who was also from China. The first time they met, they were very happy. Then they lived together and had a good time like a couple. However, not long after, Yue Ming was assigned to return to Hong Kong. Before he left, he held Lily in his arms and promised to come back to see her. But the fact is that the word scumbag can't be trusted. Yue Ming obviously didn't look for Lily again, or his pride wouldn't be shot down. Now that he can't find the one who will fly, Yue Ming had to continue to catch Lin Chao, because in his opinion, since Lin Chao knew that Jiabi was shot down, he was likely to know a mysterious person. In fact, as Yue Ming expected, Lin Chao often sells his own poems to mysterious people. The two of them got to know each other, and when Yue Ming and Ah Chen went to look for information with Fei Hua, they accidentally saw Lin Chao's figure. As soon as the two met, Lin Chao fired at the two of them. When Yue Ming rushed into the room, he was nowhere to be found. To prevent Lin Chao from running away, Yue Ming asked Ah Chen to stay downstairs. It turned out that since Yue Ming left, Lily had been waiting for him in Thailand for 3 years. But he realized that Yue Ming was just cheating himself, so he killed himself in front of Norman. From that moment on, Norman swore to kill Yue Ming's family to avenge Lily. And after he said this grudge, Lin Chao reminded Yue Ming to quickly use the poison to splash Norman's flying head and escape with his gloves. Unexpectedly, Norman flew straight over and bit Lin Chao's neck, ready to suck his blood first. Although Lin Chao knew the number of heads down, he was powerless against the flying head sauce. When he was struggling, he accidentally touched the wooden table with the poison. He also fell to the ground, staring at the blood coming out of his eyes, and Norman, who only cared about sucking blood, did not notice that Lin Chao's blood had begun to flow into the poison. At the moment when the blood and the poison were mixed together, Norman's flying head was also turned into a pool of blood. The needle in the wall of the house was also untied in an instant. However, when the couple was about to leave, Yue Ming suddenly fell to the ground and died. When Lily was with Yue Ming at the beginning, in order to prevent him from deceiving himself, he drew a spell on his back and took the opportunity to pull down a strand of his hair to make a love sauce. This kind of flying head will only be triggered after Lily's death. So Yue Ming tried everything and was eventually killed by the flying head. This movie is not a horror movie, but a moral movie that persuades people to hurt each other. It is clearly mentioned in the movie that being shot down is usually because of love or wealth. If you usually do the right thing, don't mess with the relationship between men and women. Those crooked people will never come to you, and they will never involve innocent people.